Good morning, crew. Hope you're doing well. This is raw vlog number 18. Raw vlogs are recorded live in front of a steering wheel, or recorded in front of a steering wheel on my way to getting my morning coffee at Stell. Delivered straight from the camera to you, raw and unedited. Today, we're really just gonna do an update on the wrist, and partly why we missed last Friday, and we'll maybe also talk a little bit about what's going on with Kelly's bike. I don't know if I'm gonna have a video this Monday. We'll get into that, but I probably will only have like Sunday to work on the video, so we'll see where we're at. I'd rather deliver something of better quality than just throw something together and just to get it out on time. Unless you think it would be better to just have something on Monday. But that's where we're at. It's been a bit of a rough week. It's probably the first time in this whole process of the wrist healing up that I've really just kind of been down. Had some really rough days. So just catch everybody up. Close to about 2 months ago, I crashed on 10-ply and fractured my ulna, dislocated my lunate, and then shortly thereafter, a couple of days later, had surgery where they put some wiring around the ulna and then also put 4 pins into the lunate. So this last Wednesday, I went into the ortho and they took the cast off and then pulled the pins out. So really what should have been happening after that is that I should have had some achiness, but then generally, you know, things would get a little bit easier and there wouldn't be much pain. So when I had the cast on, I really didn't have much pain. I just had, like, you know, just discomfort from the cast. So last Wednesday, pins come out. Wednesday night, you know, like early, middle of the night, Thursday, like incredible amount of pain in my wrist and my fingers, my knuckles, like everything was just like hurting crazy bad. And I didn't know if that was normal. I had talked to a couple of people who had dislocated lunates, slightly different injuries, but similar enough to be able to look at their experience and see whether or not this was normal. And it didn't really seem normal talking to the people that had a similar injury. Getting a hold of an ortho can be pretty difficult because they're always really busy. There's a lot going on in their lives. But I was able to see like a physician's assistant, and you know, that person kind of told me that it's somewhat normal, and I was like, okay. It was quite a lot of pain. Like, I wasn't really sleeping. It got to the point where I'm taking like alternating ibuprofen and Tylenol like all day long to just manage the pain, to make it so I can think about something else. So where we're at now is we've determined, or the doctor has determined, that I've got an infection in there. I had this super awesome lump on the back of my wrist that it looked like there was a little alien egg in there, and it actually popped, and then just like blood was coming out all over the place. It was pretty awesome. But then when I went in, the doctor looked at it and started probing around in there, which was fun, and saw that there was some pus in there. So I'm thinking of this as like, it's probably the better case scenario, you know, like I've got all this pain, and I was really worried that the bone, the lunate, was not attached, it was out of place, because that can cause a lot of pain too. So I was really concerned that that's what was going on. So in that case, they would probably have to do another surgery, which would be really just a basket of suck. So with infection, you know, they had to clean it out, which was quite an experience, but it meant that after that, you know, mostly the treatment is going to be antibiotics. I think I have to go in on a regular basis because there's like packing gauze in there, and they have to like pull the gauze out and possibly like repack. I'm not really sure how all of that works, but in any case, it's probably better than a bone being out of place. Yeah, and if there's one thing that I've learned from this like sustained level of pain for this long, it's that when all you're thinking about is the pain that you're having or the suffering that you're going through, it just makes it that much worse. I had, you know, these levels of pain or greater previously, but not for such a sustained amount of time. And at a certain point, like, my whole life was about the wrist and about the pain I was experiencing in my wrist. And that's a really miserable place to be in your brain. And the main things that were helping me, you know, was just distraction, but also just having a conversation with somebody else and investing in somebody else, being interested in what somebody else was doing. And I found that just the general rule of getting out of your own head and getting, you know, thinking about somebody else is often one of the, is like just good medicine in general. And so I was trying to do a lot of that this last week. Yeah, I hope this isn't too much of a bummer of a vlog, but I don't want these things to be, you know, like fashioned in any way. I want them to be like, you know, what I'm really going through and what I'm really thinking about. So we are on the mend now. We're at a point where, you know, we've got the antibiotics coming in, and so hopefully in a day or two the infection will have gotten kicked back and the pain will be reduced. I'm still in a fair bit of pain right now. I am on my way to getting coffee at Stell this morning, but after that I'm going to be going directly to the ortho to have the dressings changed. I don't know if you can see, but there's a big old lump in there, and that's because like after they cleaned it out, they put just a big old wad of dressing around it. So we need to have the dressing changed, and then I'll find out kind of what next steps are. But I'll probably be seeing the ortho on a weekly basis, and you know, until we get to X-rays and that sort of thing. Hopefully this doesn't put the recovery time back too far. I know like infection will put healing on hold, so you know, the infection happened last Wednesday, today is Friday, so hopefully, you know, we're maybe pushed back a week or so. Yeah, but let's switch gears really quick. I'm pretty stoked for Kelly because she's going to be having new bike day. I know we talked about this last Saturday in our late vlog. Long story short, Kelly picked the color for her bike off the pictures on Santa Cruz's website. When the bike actually showed up though, it was a closer to pink or mauve than we originally thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more bronzy. Kelly thought it was going to be a little bit more orange. Turns out it's closer to pink. There's nothing wrong with the color, but it's definitely not up Kelly's alley. She's just didn't really dig it, and the path has been like hella cool. They, you know, took pity on us. They saw how bummed Kelly was, and they're actually exchanging the frame. They're dealing with the exchange with Santa Cruz to get another colorway in. So and then also, you know, Kelly was pretty bummed because it meant like either she was gonna not have a bike to go ride Snow Summit, or it meant we were gonna have to spend like what, 140 bucks or something like that to rent the bike. And again, you know, Tawny at the Path took pity on us and is lending Kelly the Pivot Firebird 29er, the big bird, and giving her that to ride until the new frame comes in and the bike is built up. And this is one of those things where like you know, a couple of things. One, it's just rad that Kelly's getting a new bike, and it's also just crazy how much the path really is about people being happy on their bikes, having a good time riding mountain bikes. That's really what they're about. The look on, like, watching Tani look at Kelly and seeing like the empathy in his face. He, like, at one point just looked at her and said, "You want a bike to ride?" And Kelly just immediately lit up and was just a lot happier. You know, and it's also cool for Kelly because she, you know, she's been riding, she'd been riding her own bike for a long time, but then when, you know, there was stuff going on with the shock, she was renting a Trek Remedy, so it was cool that she could ride a different bike and see how her skills were in her, they weren't in the bike. So that gave her some confidence. And, you know, then she's on a 29er, and she's never touched a 29er before in her life, and she takes it up to Snow Summit, and guess what? She can still ride the bike. And that was another, like, confidence boost for her. She was just, yeah, she said she had a ton of fun on it. I was like, Kelly, don't start loving 29ers because we've already got a bike for you. She's like really loving that bike, but, you know, she does like feel like she would be happier on a 27.5. But she gets, you know, she gets what that bike's about and digs it, and she just had a good time on it. So, you know, I think one thing that is a skill, and it's something I see in Kelly, and it's something I see in any place that is service oriented, it's the ability to take what should be a bad thing and turn it into a good thing. I've yet to figure out how to take a week of pain and turn it into a good thing. Yeah, it was some dark days, but I'll maybe find some way to convert this. In any case, I'm gonna get some coffee, and then I'm gonna go get my dressings changed and see what the update is on this thing, and then I'll keep you up to date on these things. Hopefully we'll still have a video on Monday. We'll see where we get to. Yeah. If you dug this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from the MTB ALAN channel, hit that subscribe button. See you soon.